Welcome to In Bed with Brooke, episode 7. In episode 6, we finished reading chapter 2, so obviously we'll start reading chapter 3 now. Alex finished cleaning up the broken glass and mopping up the beer. She vacuumed the cocaine out of her carpet, seriously not believing that she was actually vacuuming drugs off her floor. Hayes was an asshole, she decided, and she was glad she caught him doing drugs because it had given her an excuse to throw him out. She pushed the vacuum furiously over the carpet, thinking about the crude things Matt was trying to get that guy Slater to believe about her. Even if she had slept with him, it wasn't his place to go around telling people that. What a jerk. She finished the tasks at hand and groaned loudly when she realized she still had to call her mother back. After an arduous 2-hour phone call, she settled down with some tea to try to relax when there was a knock at the door. What the hell, Alex muttered. She had a monster headache from the call with her mother, and she wasn't in the mood for being disturbed, especially this late. Her call home was only once a week. Anytime they occurred, she was always lectured by her mother about whether she was dating, what acting job she'd gotten recently, was she eating healthy, was she spending money wisely, blah, blah, blah. Alex understood that most mothers' nagging came from a place of love. It hurt her deeply when Janice droned on the way she did because Alex saw it for what it was. Nothing but pretentious worry that her daughter would somehow, some way, embarrass David and Janice by saying or doing the wrong thing should Alex ever run into one of their acquaintances. There wasn't any love and worry involved. It was all about appearances. It was raining, and the thunder accompanying the rain was perfect for her mood right now. Not so much the knock on her door. Alex walked with heavy footsteps, practically dragging her feet as she looked through the peephole and saw Slater standing outside. She wanted nothing to do with these guys anymore, but her curiosity got the best of her as to why he would dare come back. "What do you want?" she asked abruptly, yanking the door open. "I wasn't using," he said, his hair soaked and the rain dripping off of him. "How do I know that?" She crossed her arms stubbornly, questioning him. "Because I'm telling you the truth. They were using. I wasn't. I told Hayes not to do that shit and he wouldn't stop. It was Hayes and Matt, not me, I swear." "Look," he continued to speak while Alex stared at him, her jaw set, her eyes narrowed. "You obviously heard the conversation about Matt claiming to bang you. You had to have heard me tell him to put that shit away. You saw them, not me, with your own eyes. Just because I heard you and Matt having an inappropriate conversation about me doesn't mean that you didn't take a drag at the joint or snort that disgusting stuff that's probably still embedded in my carpet, thank you very much," Alex snapped. "You're the one who lost your temper and tossed the mirror," Slater pointed out, giving her a half grin. Impressive move, by the way. He quickly noticed the charm wasn't going to work on her as she glared at him. He suppressed another grin when he realized she was pretty damn cute when she was mad. At her continued silence, he decided he better get back to the topic at hand. "Did you see me use?" "That's not the point," Alex yelled, her voice frustrated. "Answer the question," Slater demanded. "Did you see me use?" "Well, no, I guess not." She shook her head, standing taller to show him she wasn't scared, and then repeated herself. "That's not the point. They were doing drugs, and you're their friend. Hayes is my friend." "Matt's a dick," Slater stated. "Where are Hayes and Matt?" Wondering at their whereabouts, she looked past him like she expected them to appear any moment. "Don't know and don't care. I ditched them when we left here." "Well, how do I know that they didn't send you back here trying to get in, and then they're going to come back? Do I look like I've been busy plotting against you?" "No, you look like a drowned rat." Alex looked him over, trying not to let her heart overrule her head. He was hopeful as he saw her hesitation. "I'm not one to beg, but I don't know what to do. I have nowhere else to go, and it's cold and it's wet out here. Is there any way you will please let me stay? And have a little mercy and just let me stay for the night. I swear to God I won't use drugs, and you can trust me not to fuck up in any way." His eyes were pleading with her. Part of her wanted to shut the door in his face, but a bigger part of her wanted to welcome him in, dry him off, and feed him a decent meal. She always had a weakness for taking in strays. Saying nothing, she opened the door all the way and stepped back to let him in. He walked in, shivering and staying on the tiled entryway, not wanting to drip water all over the place. "I'll get you a towel." Alex walked toward the bathroom. She came back, handed him a towel, and pointed toward the room she had just vacated. "You can take a hot shower and dry off in there. If you leave your clothes outside the door, I'll throw them in the dryer, and then we'll talk." Slater draped the towel around his neck and bent down to remove his shoes. "Thanks," he replied, walking quickly to the bathroom and taking his bag with him. Alex closed the door behind her and watched him walk away. She thought she should feel afraid or uneasy, but those weren't her emotions. She felt comfortable with him around. Not quite able to put her finger on it for some reason, she trusted this guy. A few minutes later, the bathroom door opened. Alex watched as Slater's arm appeared behind the door, dropping his wet jeans and his t-shirt onto the floor. She prayed to God he had a change of clothes in the duffel he had with him. The last thing she needed was a stranger in her home walking around naked while he waited for his clothes to dry. After putting his clothes in the dryer and figuring he must be hungry, she went to the kitchen to find him something to eat. There wasn't a lot in her kitchen that could be classified as guy food, but she found a can of beef and some crackers, some beef stew and some crackers. Half an hour passed by when he finally emerged from the bathroom. He was in different clothes, thank God, with his dark red hair slicked back from the shower. Alex studied him. She had always thought red-headed men were dealt an unfortunate hand with that hair color, but it worked on him. He wore it well. I thought you might be hungry, so I made you some soup. She set the bowl on the table with the plate of crackers. She gestured for him to sit down and grabbed a beer out of the fridge and set it next to his food. Slater's stomach grumbled, suddenly reminding him he hadn't eaten in over 24 hours. Thanks. He sat at the table and started in on the food. He suppressed a delighted sigh as he bit into the soft potatoes and the juicy chunks of savory beef. Alex watched him devour the soup like it was a gourmet meal, and that tugged at her heart a little, wondering when he had last eaten. Not wanting to make him uncomfortable, she made herself busy in the kitchen while he ate. When he was nearly done, she sat down across from him at the table and inquired, "When was the last time you had a decent meal?" "Can't remember." Slater scraped his spoon against the bowl, his voice muffled around the last spoonful. "Well, I think I have another can of this if you'd want some more," she offered. He pushed back the bowl and took a drink of his beer. "No, this was enough, thank you." "So," she said, "you need a place to stay." It wasn't a question, it was an obvious fact. "Yeah, I can figure something out, but I had nowhere else to go tonight." "Well, by figure something out, what do you mean? You'll just find a random couch to crash on or a room with a friend?" "Well, I don't have any friends that'll let me crash. We're all in the same boat. I can sleep outside, but with the rain tonight, I'd hoped you let me stay." "Sleep outside? Are you serious? How? Where?" Slater took another drink of his beer and shrugged. "Park bench, alley, warehouse, wherever I can crash." Alex couldn't even wrap her head around that lifestyle. Here she was, living in her grandmother's luxury condo, not paying a dime with a bedroom to spare. Unable to believe that someone could live the way he was describing. "We might be able to work something out." She stood up and took the dishes off the table and put them in the sink. Turning back to face him and making a snap decision, the question came, "Would you like to stay here?" "I have no money to pay you any kind of rent," he simply stated. "That's okay," Alex replied, "but I have rules." He hated that word, rules. But if she was going to offer him something he couldn't turn down, he was willing to listen. "You can stay here, but Hayes can't," she said firmly. "Yeah, I kind of got that when you kicked him out today." He had a certain kind of charm that tempted her to smile when he said that, but she didn't do that. He had to take her seriously. "No drugs," she stated firmly. "Okay." "No girls." "Okay," he replied, thinking if I pick up a girl, I'll be staying at her place anyway. "No friends over, no parties. This is not a flop house." Slater stared at her. Alex couldn't read if he was agreeable to any of this or if he was getting pissed at her rules, but she didn't care. She had to stay firm, continuing with her list of what not to do. "No stealing from me, no eating all of my food, and I'm not ever having sex with you." Slater stood up from the table and walked toward her. He was very tall. She felt like he was trying to dominate her with his presence, but she wasn't going to back down. Gone was the flirtatious man from a few hours ago, and in his place was someone who looked like he wanted control. She looked him straight in the eye as he reacted to her list of rules. "I don't do drugs, at all. If I find a girl to fuck, I'll be going to her place. I don't trust anyone in this business, not even the guys in my band, so I really don't have any friends. If I want a party, I'll go to a party, not bring one here. I'll find food on my own." He gave her a cocky grin. "And never say never on the sex thing, sugar, because that'd be the best you've ever had." Okay, so we're going to stop it there for episode 7, and stay tuned to episode 8. Does Slater agree to Alex's rules? Will he end up moving in? I will put a link on where to buy the books down in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for new episodes, and please like this video and leave me a comment. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.